Let people know in the back there are more seats in the front here, and there is seats in the back. Also, ask the Shiva boys in the back to stand up so that the adults can sit down. And also, please ask everyone to turn off their cell phones. trusted.
I would ask you two things. Trying to, in some measure, to capture and to depict the life of such a giant. Such a great man that accomplished so much in such a short life. There's only one person that I know that was able to express, to convey, and to capture such a panorama of accomplishment, all the facets of personality, the beautiful neshama. And that person's flaws. He was a rabbi, a teacher, a molder of man, a father, a guide, and a friend. And for hundreds of people here today, he was all of those things. The family knows the searing pain that we feel, the fabulous void that we sense is shared by all of you. How he loves you all. How he touched you. How you touched him. How he gave his life for you. His waking hours. His sleepless nights. How his single passion was to reach out, to teach you, to mold you, to elevate you, to bring you closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to infuse you with a love of mitzvahs, a love of Torah, a love of Klal Yisrael, a love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you look around and you see so many people here, and they're but just a fraction of the people that we touched that were able to come, you'd imagine that his life's mission was to captivate the world, to conquer the universe. But in truth, his mission was something far different. It was to touch but one man, to touch but one woman, to touch but one child. And that's what you see in front of you. All the people that were touched so deeply, that were so deeply moved, that were elevated, uplifted, transformed. Whole families that were totally changed. Their ideals, their hopes, their aspirations were substituted for something totally different. Something they didn't know. Something they couldn't have tasted before. And that was his life's mission. To touch but one person. And you're that person. And you're all his children. Just in this passage of Torah, I sat down to the conference, and he told me how when my father came 30 years ago, all he cared about was his family, his career, and baseball. And there were many others like him. A love of mitzvahs, a desire to learn, an appreciation of Torah. These things had no meaning for him. He said, your father, he touched the people. He gave them a love for learning. He imbued in them a love for mitzvahs, for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for Klal Yisrael. And he said, nobody would believe that now I've been learning Daf Yomi, being Hevei, eating with Torah, setting aside time to learn, children in yeshiva. And I said, you're wrong. I said, my father knew it. He believed it. He saw it in you. And he brought it out. When I think about my father, his uniqueness, I think about the contrast that only he seems to embody. The fearless courage, principles of integrity, of upholding the highest standards of Torah, of observance in the shul, in the city. And he was never afraid, even act forcefully, to uphold them. Criticism, praise, it was nothing to him. So single-minded, and just carrying out the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And yet at the same time, with that power of personality, that attachment to Emes, he had the deepest love the most fatherly, gentle touch to each and every person. The pasuk that comes to mind, the pasuk in Tehillim, Chesed ve'emes nifkashu, Tzedek v'shalom nashaku. Chesed is the deed of kindness, transcending boundaries, loving kindness. Ve'emes, and truth, insisting on truth. Nifkashu, they met. They touched each other. Malvin says, like Rayim, like beloved friends. My father was able to encompass both the greatest appreciation for emes, for integrity, for principle. Nobody was able to budge him, to threaten him, or otherwise, never afraid of losing his own job. Anything. It was HaKadosh Baruch Hu's world. It was his Torah, and it was a rock, and he was unbudgeable. But at the same time, oh, how he loved you. Oh, how he cared for you. Oh, how he touched you, how he brought you close. Like a loving but insistent father. He saw in you what you didn't see in yourselves. He saw your potential. He saw your neshama. He saw that simple. And he drew out that spark and inflamed it and brought it to the Lord and Father. He saw that diamond in the rough. He polished it. He cultivated it. He cut it until it shone so brilliantly. This was a single passion, to teach, to reach out, to share, to uplift. When my father became increasingly sick, people wrote beautiful letters and shared from all over the world how their lives were transformed by my father, how they were elevated, how they learned a new life that they didn't know existed, how their children are just totally different realms. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, hundreds of them. And we would share these letters like we're intended. And my father, towards the end of his life, he would say, oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. Oh, the pain. It was so painful. But he wasn't able to do that anymore. That was his life. That was all he wanted. And it was so hard for him to be so debilitated and so incapacitated. My father, in the mid-60s, people started winding down their career. He took on a new initiative. He started the Greater Washington Community College, a tremendous undertaking that he did single-handedly, taking upon himself a tremendous budget. Who needs that? Who needs that? 63, 64. This was his life's mission. He was so single-minded, so determined to bring the community to new levels, to new heights, that the college should be a vehicle to reach out to all types of people, how with the shul, the community, the city. He saw this as the capstone of his life. He threw himself into it. heart and soul, and how much joy it would bring them when I saw them in the base measures of learning, to accomplish our prayer, that we were engaged in. How much hope and aspiration we had for the Kollel, to reach out, to touch new people, to find these people that were never touched, that were never reached, and how much we undertook personally to accomplish that. I'd like to share a story just to illustrate that side of him, that gentle side that we knew, that we loved. I remember many years ago, we were in New Hampshire in the summertime, and my father was very meticulous about minyanim, the gathering, the quorum. And during the week, when we eat there, I don't remember all the details, but on Shabbos we had to walk up the hill, this and that. And there was a man that made a minyan for the people there in the summer. And different people gathered there, and it was a pretty mixed crowd from all different walks of life. And this person that arranged it, maybe didn't seem as observant, maybe some other people there. And at the end of davening on Shabbos, he put out some grapefruit to make sure it was the finest of sharing. And he put out some babka, and had only the finest of sharing. But people only like to eat from their own. Nonetheless, it was store-bought, and the wrapper was there. And very few people came to touch it. My father sat down, and he made kiddush, and he made a bracha, and he took a bite, he took another bite, and another bite, and he was eating and eating and eating, and eating. And finally he said a bracha. Right now, I wasn't sure if it was now, let's see on the bench. And we were walking back, and I turned to him and said, Dad, like only a teenager could. And I said, were you hungry? And he said, let me tell you not. And he said, that man, we went through so much effort to establish this minyan. He got a Sefer Torah, he got Sidurim, he brought people together, and he put up this kiddush. It would be embarrassing for him. Nobody touched it. He said, there was nobody that was eating. I sat down and I ate it all myself. And that was the heritage for a person he never met before, probably never saw again. But just that sensitivity, a common person, that he shouldn't have to put away the vodka, the grapefruit, the pill, unappreciated. He sat down and he ate. That's what I feel the shmam. Eating for the sake of heaven. And that's embarrassing true. This is who my father was. At the end of his life, he was on medication. I remember one night, his mind was stimulated from the drugs that he was taking. And he was talking non-stop. He wasn't able to stop. It was just pouring out words. I don't know if they were conscious words or not. Hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, pouring out. And all he was talking about was the shul, was the city, the vibe. How are we going to be better? How are we going to improve the shul? How are we going to improve the city? How are we going to take care of this? One word after another tumbled out of his mouth without break, without thought. His whole neshama just welled up and poured out of himself. It was something that was unbelievable to see. But this was his mission. This was his life. This was his she'itah, his desire. Only this to give, to share, to teach, to uplift, and to touch all of you. Each and every one of you is his children. And that's the way he felt. My father accomplished so much. He did so many things. But yet some things he didn't accomplish and he didn't do. And for that we cry today. He didn't bring the grandchild to chuppah, walk down the aisle of the grandson or granddaughter. He didn't hold the great grandchild on his lap and kiss him. And we mourn for the deep loss. How good he was to us. How he loved us. How he inspired us. How he cherished us. And how he was a pillar of strength for us. My mother loved the friends of loving sons so quickly. Cared for him. Day and night, without complaints, without any other thoughts of our own needs. I'm so grateful for great care, and your love is the greatest love. And of course, we're here for you. To give you the chizuk that you've given us. The emunah that you displayed. To be tough on. Oh, it was like a rock. How we learned from that. And it gave us so much chizuk and courage. I'd like to thank the doctors, all of them, for the true shulchan of Shvar Crew, that cared for him, Dr. Scher, Dr. Finkel, Dr. Heller, and of course Dr. Sober, who's like a Nala, and showered my father and lavished him with attention, and came at all times. It was so good for the family. Our deputy was eternal. I'd like to think of his husband. The boy in the shul. My father was sick, was terrible. It was painful. And the family, as well as the shul, thought we should have somebody that could step into the teach. Somehow, in some measure, bridge the gap and fill the void. It's not an easy job to do. Rabbi Kalman performed it with grace, with humility, with skill. And for that as well, we are eternally grateful to you, Rabbi Kalman. We have the family as well. I'd like to thank the shul. All the people, all of the students that we managed to touch, that he loved so much. You are his children. And the respect and dignity that you afforded him, privacy, courage, the chizuk, the tefillas that kept him alive for so many months. Wasn't having treatment since I think February. The disease that he had. Maybe it's unprecedented to Muslim. It was your tefillas and your prayers and your heartfelt talk that undoubtedly kept him alive. Chaim Singer, the president, who navigated the shul at this difficult time, as well, showed the Rav and the family with so much sensitivity and love and caring and dignity. And then the minute, like that, my father Mechila, Lashmi. I heard you. I could have done so much more to ease the pain. Nonetheless, I ask for the Shiva, that is myself, family. To be the Lord of the struggle, the courage, that's going to be a spell of Sedek, Mashiach, we should all be reunited.
Yeah, go on this way, please. Can you ask Rabbi Menowitz to move back a little? He's right in the camera. Shut up. Backwards, this way.
I do know one thing, as my brother said, it's not always this way. My pain is your pain. The pain that I'm feeling, everybody's feeling. And I feel that, and I appreciate it. This is an extended family. For sure, for 30 years, we led with love, and we reciprocated with love. Everybody here is part of our family. And I truly, and my family, feel that way. And the love that it gives us is incredible. I wasn't sure what to focus on. Really talk about what a wonderful father he was to me. How unique he was, and how special. And how loving, and how much he gave to me personally. I have one story. It kind of tightens it up because I don't want to go into that whole area, but just to take one aspect and one story. When I was bar mitzvahed, I was very bad at learning how to wave. My brother Menachem was a year older than me. He was very good at waving. My father taught Menachem his bar mitzvah parsha, which was pretty painless. I believe halfway through, Menachem ended up teaching himself the rest of it. Then came my turn, a year and a half later. It was a real battle. 87 took in Baruch Hashem, not that long, but it was a battle for him. Every single pasuk, it was a real challenge for me, and I was, it was hard for me, and I didn't feel it the greatest way. He was saying, "Can't wait for me to come back." Just seemed to me like he had nothing else to do. Never got a chance, never said anything to me. I come back, another one. Years later, I said to him, I asked him, I said, "Daddy, why do you teach me on a Rissa Parsha? You hire somebody You're not going to feel that way. It's not going to feel like that. You didn't need it. Why did you do it? He said to me, he said, Moshe, I thought the Nachman is going to be Parsha. If I didn't teach you, I was afraid that you'd think that, there was something wrong, that I didn't care as much. It's a very fine-tuned thing. He put himself through a year. I'm telling you, it was a year of stress and pressure and abuse. So maybe it would bother me and I would feel well with talking about why do you teach me? And for that, never complained. That's one snapshot. That's one story. I could go on forever. But I don't want to talk about that. I believe that one aspect when you talk about my father, my brother and I was talking about how he led, what he did. I don't want to get into either that much in that area. I believe it came when my father trained us in the deep-rooted Yisroel. My father's connection to Sinai, his connection to the Rebbe, his connection to Yisroel, I believe was his guiding source. And that's what he brought the community to. He didn't just represent himself. He represented Doros. We felt that we were part of a chain. We felt that we could go all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu. And that empowered us. That gave us strength. He was much bigger than just himself. And he embodied that. Before I spoke today, I admit, although it was very, very, very painful, I felt it was apropos that I listened to my father's speech that he gave to the shul just a few months ago. Now he spoke that he was just carrying on the Masorah, and that he was like the Shivim Zakanim that were bringing Torah, and he was bringing it, from a source from behind, and he was carrying on the Masorah. And his dedication and his devotion to the Masorah was so stalwart and strong, emes, because he knew the emes. He knew what was right. He didn't care what people told him. He had a Masorah. His Rebbe told him he was charged. He had strengths and powers. He was impervious to people because he knew that this is emes. This is his Masorah. And we see by Yitzchak Avinu, Rabbeinu Bechai talks about how important this is. And it says, Afilu Yitzchak Avinu Torah B'chazek as Adikosul L'Masorah. Yitzchak Avinu himself trying to reconnect and retain his connection to Avraham Avinu, his father. When Avraham Avinu is your Rebbe, you don't need much of a connection, you think. But Yitzchak Avinu went so far as to when he came and he redug the bores, when he redug the Be'eros Mayim that Avraham Avinu had originally dug and they had been covered up, he named them the same name as his father had given them. To retain the connection to his Masorah. The Rabbeinu Bechai said, why did the Torah tell us this? They called them the same names. Nirish and Neshes L'Schos. V'yesh b'zeh Soros, v'kal v'chesed Soros, v'kal v'chomer sha'ishana adam miderech avoso. That you shouldn't change from the ways of your father. V'yitzchak afilu shmota be'eros shekaros, on even the names of the be'eros. Lo ratzol l'shnosim, he didn't want to change. V'zeh kal v'chomer l'darte open and v'zeh al-motzah shalem. Kal v'chomer to everything else. Yitzchak Avinu was being mechazik himself. And he was saying that I will not even transform the names, albeit that wasn't essential. And that gave him the strength to not change anything. That cemented within him the Masorah, the Kal Chomer, that he wouldn't change one iota. My father was unwavering. It didn't matter what people said. He would put his job on the line. My Rebbe always said, the Rosh Yeshiva, if you can't close the yeshiva, don't start yeshiva. If you can't build, you have to be able to close up. What's now? I'm not here to do anything. I'm not here to accomplish. My job, I'm just an Eved Hashem. My job is to do, not to accomplish. That's my job. And therefore, whatever happens, happens. That Masorah, that strength, that fortitude facilitated him to look at the world in a different way. Unwavering, unchanging, not subject to people's influences. Because of that stalwart strength that he had, the rock of the Masorah that he carried, and as my brother mentioned, all the letters, many of the letters that were given to our family, mentioned how important the Masorah was, and that my father ingrained and imbued in his Talmidim and his Talmidos, everybody in the shul, that he was part of the Masorah, and the Masorah is essential to continue. I just wanted to focus on one other area, which I believe is very much involved in this, but I believe it's one of my father's crowning achievements, unfortunately. But when my father spoke that time, I remember him saying that his Rebbe told him one day, came over to him and he said to him, went through his life and his goals, and he said to him, this is not the life I planned for myself. It's not what I mapped out. It's not what I envisioned. It's not what I dreamed. The challenges that he went through, the many times that he was on the throes of death, the Rosh Hashiva, and the many other issues that he had to deal with, he said, that's not what I mapped out. The Rosh Hashiva put his hand on his fist and told my father, these are my medals. I made it through, these are my medals. The last 2 years of my father's life have been very challenging. They have been very challenging. They have been hard, but he has risen. He has become what I would call, I believe that what he taught us in the last 2 years pales all his other lessons. How he has risen, how he dealt with his challenges, how he was able to overcome, I don't know. Day in and day out, to come to the Mesiras Nefesh, the Avodas Hashem, so hard if you see him wake up and try to get out of bed. Oh, why do you need this? Stay in bed. No. Another day. Another mitzvah. Another day. Another person to help. I have marching orders, and I'm going to do them. Go down the steps. Go up the steps. Do you know the challenge? Did anybody? There are people that saw it. Did anybody see my father climb 7 steps? He climbed Mount Everest every single time. Every single time he climbed those steps, he was climbing Mount Everest. The beauty, the melucha of those steps, the phone book should be enshrined. Unbelievable. As he climbed those steps, counting 1, 2, 3. Oh, try again. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Every single time, going to a wedding, resting the whole day, to make a sheva bracha, make one bracha at a wedding, to give a chassan and kala and a family, simchas chassan and kala. Compromise yourself. Why do I need this? Come, look like this. So, to everybody, and people look at me a certain way. He was aware. No, that's my job. That's my tafkid. I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter. That's the right thing to do. Make a phone call. Give a person chizuk. See how somebody else is doing. Hey, how are you doing? No. Make another phone call. He lived day in and day out as he was continuing to deteriorate and had many, many challenges. He didn't look in. He didn't complain. He said, this is my opportunity to help. Another training lesson. How does somebody deal with nisyonos? How do people deal with such situations that are difficult? They rise. They find ways to serve Hashem more. What's my tafkid now? It changed. I used to give a speech every week. I was able to influence with so many people. Now, compromised, I'll do whatever I can do. I'll get up. Get up. I don't know what I'm going to do then. Go down the steps. See how many hours I can do it. Can I make a phone call? Yes. This phone call I can make, I'll make it. This person I can meet, I'll meet him. What's going to happen next? I don't know. Do I have the strength to get up the stairs? I'm not sure. But now I can help this person. Now I can do this. That's what I'm doing. That was what my father's lesson was. My father continued to teach us. My father continued. And the family in general, and something that I learned from this situation that I never knew, that I never would have thought I understood, was the Chasdei Hashem that we were able to see. I believe much of it is a tribute to my mother, her hashgacha to the family. The Chasdei Hashem that we consistently saw. Is the glass half full? No. Half empty? No. The glass is always somewhat full. And we always saw the beauty. And I thought to myself, similar to the Gemara, Nosim, Ochos, by Yosef, when Yosef was sold into slavery, the camel drivers were carrying around spices. You see the Yad Hashem in everything. And even that, Yosef, being separated from his brothers, perhaps sold into Mitzrayim for a long time, not knowing what his eventual end would be, he could pick up on that. Because if not, what's the Chasdei Hashem? He could pick up on that lesson. And if he doesn't, he's mistaken. The Chasdei Hashem are there. They're there for us to see. We have to look at it that way. And then our entire perspective of life changes. We're transformed. We have a different vision. We have a different understanding of everything. This is what I saw from my father. And that's what gave him the strength. He had that fortitude because that's how he looked at things. That's how he was able to have that perspective. Look at this. I'm able to do this, and I'm able to accomplish that. But Daddy, you're not able to do what you used to do. So what? The Galileo, no, when I'm going, Hashem is with me. The spices are there. If Hashem is with me, I'm good. And now I'll do what I have to do. My father said, and I believe that I never fully understood something. My father said he wanted to be told, like his Rebbe, that he went with his boots on. And yes, Daddy, I can testify to you today that there's no shinier boot in the world than the boots you're wearing today. You went with your boots on. Teaching lessons, training till you had nothing left, giving to everybody, your family, every conversation that you had with your family had a purpose. You were trying to give us chizuk, love, care, compassion, train us, give us things till the end, Daddy. That's what you were all about. That's what we saw from you. And that you went with your boots on. I always had this question. When there are pictures often of Gedolim, when there are pictures of people, often they have the pictures of them when they're older, and they look a little worn down, their beards are thinner, they look schwach. And I just don't understand, why do you show the picture of the Chokol? Person, when he was in his prime, when he was 50 years old, he was giving shear, he had the power, his beard had a little white, because you need a little white, but his beard had a little white, it had length, but he still has all of his power, all of his koach. Why not? Why show the pictures where he looks compromised, he looks schwacher? That's not him. And I realized, no. From Daddy, I learned, Daddy, that is the nitzchias of a person. The nitzchias of a person comes out and emanates at the end. When you don't have all your strength. When you have every excuse in the books to hand in the towel. When you're schwach. When it's hard to get out of bed. There's a picture of my father holding a lulav and esrog that my mother took, sitting in his chair from 2 weeks ago. That picture will be hanging in my dining room. That was beautiful. That was my father. Holding, cherishing, loving his lulav and esrog that he was barely able to hold. Because he had every reason not to. He didn't have the same influence, the same impact. He didn't have the same strength. That's what it means going out with your boots on. Because then, nobody's taking their boots off when they have all their power. But when they're weakened, and they have every excuse, and they have every reason not to, that's the person that keeps his boots on, keeps on plowing. Say another bracha, do another mitzvah, put your tefillin on one more time, say Shema, call somebody, tell a child how much you love them. That's the real person. That's somebody. That's the beauty. And that I never understood. And now I finally understand and love all of those pictures. Daddy, my brother said, I lived out of town and I definitely was not able to give you as much as I would have liked to, and maybe I didn't call as much or do as much. I asked Mechila from you for everything that I could have done and should have done. I didn't know that it would be this short. I didn't know it would have been. I didn't know. There's so much I have to learn from you still. I'm a baby. I have so much that I needed to learn from you. I asked the people that and I asked my mother, who has been the greatest giver to our family, and to my father. I thank her. The cornerstone and rock of our family, for the bitachon, for the serious nefesh, to our family and my father knows no bounds. I know you'll think you're wrong because there's no. I know you will. Daddy, I'm judging my speak from this platform. You spoke over 30 years. This platform, I watched you in my entire life, in my Joshua's. And I was speaking to you the other day. I never did this day. You're supposed to be up here. And you called recently. Family was there. And he said to me, Yitzchak, what did you tell me when I came down from the pulpit and came to Joshua? Yitzchak used to always tell me, Daddy is the best speaker in America. We were privileged to hear his Joshua's 30 years. Lost our father, lost our own, lost our captain, we've lost our leader, and we've lost our inspiration. In my Tzmura, there's no replacement. No one can replace dynamism.
personality is warm, and his concern for the Kehillah, the Shul, the Frat, and the entire Washington community at large. Very difficult, he wants to father and struggling. So multifaceted, dynamic. Think about what a great father he was, how much he loved us. You speak about all the people that he influenced. And it's hard to capture everything. I just want to bring out one aspect I think defined my father the best. That is to tell me, to say that I had a reputation in the community. It wasn't just the rub of White Oak. He was involved in all communal affairs. It was the Vad, Shabbat the Erev. He had his hand in everything, mikvah, every communal event, every communal facet he was involved in. And he used to tell me that I had a reputation as a kanoi, a hardliner, a zealot. That's my reputation in the community. At the same time, if you ask the people in our shul and other people in the community at large that had a more personal relationship with him, they tell a completely different story. They tell a story of the shepherd, the father, who loves his congregants, every single one, tremendous warmth and concern and care and compassion. Doesn't exist. How do we explain this dichotomy, incongruity? I can explain this. I've already once heard a tape from Victor Miller. He said, the Gemara says that Shaul HaMelech, he was so unusual and so extraordinary in his character traits. He was a phenomenon. In his compassion, his love for Hashem, his scholarship, off the charts, Shaul HaMelech. Maybe even naturally he was much greater than David HaMelech. Yet, nowhere in the Torah we cannot find the term Shaul Avdi. We don't find that. And yet, it's replete with David Avdi. What's the difference? What's the difference between David HaMelech and Shaul HaMelech? And Rabbi Kalman explains that, well, although Shaul HaMelech was superior in his natural quality traits, that David HaMelech, a special midah of Eved Hashem. He was an Eved Hashem. And Shaul HaMelech, we find was fighting on his madrega, on some tiny infinitesimal level. And King Kamalik, he was bound by his character traits and his Rahmanis, he was bound by it. And he erred in his lofty madrega, according to his madrega, on some minute level. He was fighting. The David HaMelech was an Eved Hashem, and everything flowed from that source. He was a courageous warrior and a fighter and a fierce in battle. And he killed single-handedly thousands of people. And at the same time, he was a kind and compassionate king. And there was no spira. Because everything flowed from that midah of Eved Hashem. Everything flowed from the same source. And whatever was Vatan Hashem, that's what he did. There was a time Eid Mulchama, there was a time to kill. He was there on the forefront of the battle, mercilessly, ruthlessly. That was Vatan Hashem. And it was a time for compassion, and that's what he was doing. That was the midah of David HaMelech, and that's why he was chosen as the Mashiach Hashem.
think that that midah defines you, Daddy. That was your midah. That was Ratzon Hashem. He was kind, compassionate, warm, loving, and he was there for everybody, because that was the Ratzon Hashem. But when it was time for Kanoyas, and it was time that somebody overstepped the boundaries and infringed on the integrity of Torah, then he was ruthless and uncompromising and ready to go to battle and fight. That's what was necessary. And we find this, I can illustrate this with a couple of stories that illustrate this point very well. It's a well-known story in our family that my father was a young man, he was about 20. He was in a shul in Montreal. And the rabbi there got up and gave the Russia. And he spoke about the Shvatim, whatever the issue was. He didn't give them the proper respect. It was somewhat disparaging. And Daddy stood up in front of the entire shul, and he was moikeh, and he challenged the Rav on the spot in front of the entire congregation. He infringed on the integrity of Torah. Daddy was there to fight, unembarrassed, unashamed, like a warrior. And yet, he wasn't quick to pull out his kanayas. Every time he used his kanayas, it was deliberate and with great measure and consideration. I remember a few years ago, many years ago, sometimes Torah, sometimes a little bit of Lichanas that goes on, they did Emusha, and somebody got up this daven. Maybe it wasn't done with the proper respect. I remember I was a young yeshiva butler, full with idealism. I remember we came home from shul, and I asked my father, I asked his daddy, how did we let this happen? How could we let this person, this boy, this young boy, go up there and didn't give davening the proper respect? And Daddy looked at me and said, "You're young yet. You might even understand." He said, "Didn't you see that boy? That boy, when he wasn't the first boy in shul, said, didn't you see how beautiful he got up and davened for the Amid? Isn't that a beautiful thing?" He knew when there was a time for kanoyis, and knew when there was a time to let go. And he was forgiving, and he was understanding when that was in place. When somebody crossed the border and overstepped the boundaries and infringed on the integrity of Torah, he was there, forceful like a lion, uncompromising, unrelenting. So the last day, practically the last day, that was all in his mind, was the tzibur. That's all he spoke about, was what can we do to help the tzibur for this thing, how can we make this thing for the tzibur better. That was his mahos, that was his essence. To do and raise the madriga of the tzibur as much as he could. Just going to conclude. Words of the Sil Sharm, actually the Alpha Shreiften, and Chasidus. It says, Ki'ina Kodesh Baruch Hu Oyev El Misha Oyev Es Yisrael. The Bereshit only loves the Midas Chasidus, only loves those who love Klal Yisrael. The Chol Shmash Odem Magdil Avoseh Yisrael, and all that a person increases the love of the Bereshit towards Klal Yisrael, Gam HaKadosh Baruch Hu Magdil love. Hashem loves that person. The Elahim Haroyim Hamitiyim, these are the shepherds, the true shepherds of Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Chavetz Bahem, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu desires them hardly. Shemoitrim Atzmam Al Tzaynai, they give up themselves in a waste of nefesh for his flock. The Darshim Mishtadlin Al Shloimon, but they lost them the Chacham. The Mishtadl for their welfare and their good. Every way. And that's Daddy. That's you, Daddy. That was your life.
as you gave your life for the seabird. And you gave the whole seabird, Washington, Southeast Hebrew congregation, the greater Washington community at large, loved by the Rebbeinu Shlomo, all the B'nai Torah, all the people here, and people that cannot come, that are more devoted to Avodas Hashem, and our B'nai Torah, and children are B'nai Torah, and grandchildren are B'nai Torah. All those people made more beloved to the Rebbeinu Shlomo. And in turn, the Rebbeinu Shlomo loved you equally with all that you did.
The Talmud of Patrick Shabbos relates that the great sage Rav, before his passing, requested of his esteemed colleague Rav Shmuel, "Achen behes badai the husband k'imna. Please deliver an emotional eulogy at my Levaya, for I will be there." And our Chazal explained that the great sage Rav wanted an emotional, heart-stirring eulogy, not for his own covet, not for his own honor, but in order that those attending the Levaya would be aroused and stirred spiritually, to bring all of them even closer to their Avodas Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To his very last breath of his life, and even after his passing, the great Tzaddik Rav was focused upon the spiritual needs of his fellow Jews of Klal Yisrael, their levels of ruchnius, their levels of spirituality, the raising of their relationship to the Rebbeinu Shalom. My dear brother, I know your holy presence is here with us. And all you want are not words of hesed for your own covet, for your own honor, but that our words should be sources of sources of spiritual inspiration for all of us. That we should raise ourselves to new higher plateaus in our Avodas Hashem. And how do I know this? Because this concept has been the essence of your entire life here on earth. To be Mekadosh Shemayim, to sanctify Hashem's name, yes. But most importantly, your essence was to inspire others, to teach others, to transmit to others selflessly with love, so that they would grow in their own ruchnius, in their own avodas hakodesh, and they would sanctify Hashem's name in their own lives, within their families, men, women, and children. This is your holy essence of Rabbi Kalman, this Talmud and Shmuel. This is what defines your beautiful righteous neshama. David HaMelech in Kufan Gimel says, "Behold how so good, how so pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together." In its basic meaning, Rashi says that when Klal Yisrael are all united as brothers, love each other as the closest of friends, Achim Bereim, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be revealed and then be reunited with us in our Beit HaMikdash, in our Geula, in our redemption, and not before then. However, the Medrash on a deeper level tells us to read the next verse. Hashem hatov al harosh yored al hazakon, v'kan aharon sheyored al pi midosa. As the best of oils upon the head runs down upon the beard of Aharon, which runs down upon his garments. Asks the Medrash why the word zakan, why the word beard twice, it's redundant. Answers the Medrash, Kisha hoyal zakan Aharon ki ilu hoyal zikro shel Moshe, v'zehu she'omar ha'kosov shevet hakim gam yochad. Says the Medrash, these verses in Tehillim refer to the very unique bond and relationship of two brothers, Aharon and Moshe, that they were totally connected and beloved to one another. Ki ish echad v'lev echad, one body, one soul, not physically, but in sync with each other's emotions and successes and happinesses and hurts, in sync with each other's purpose of life. Says the Medrash, Kabbalah focuses in upon this one illustration of that Sheves Achim Gam Yochad, of that special relationship. That when Moshe Rabbeinu anointed his brother Aharon with the holy oil of consecration, thus consecrating Aharon and his sons to the covenant position of the Kahuna, the priesthood, which Moshe Rabbeinu had one time aspired for himself but was denied. Yet nevertheless, when Moshe Rabbeinu anointed Aharon's head with that oil running down to his beard, at the same time Yored al Hazakah, it was as if Moshe Rabbeinu himself was being consecrated. The oil was upon his beard as well. The message of this message is so powerful. Aharon's aliyah in Ruchnius was Moshe Rabbeinu's aliyah in Ruchnius in spirituality. Aharon's simcha in his covenant position was Moshe Rabbeinu's simcha, just as if he was the anointed one. No difference. Moshe Rabbeinu was totally connected to his brother Aharon, and Aharon to Moshe, one central nervous system, one body, one heart. Behold, how so good, how so pleasant it is for brothers dwelling together, totally connected with one body, one soul. Throughout my life, throughout my sister Esther's life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu blessed us with a Lachar, an older brother, yes, but our relationship was so much deeper on so many levels. Throughout all the stages of our lives together, and always going back to 1949, the year I was born, my brother was 4 years old at the time. Dear brother, you were not only my older brother, so many people have brothers, yes, but you were my protector. You were my best friend, my mentor, my confidant. You were inseparable. You were my Chavrusa, not only in the base medrash, but you were Chavrusa on the ball field, in the park on Bedford Avenue, playing together. We were Chavrusa in our personality, in our sense of humor, in our laughter. Always there for each other. From the happiest days together, going all the way back to Brighton Yeshiva. And then encouraging me to attend Chafetz Chaim Yeshiva when I was 17. Being there for each other. How well I remember when you first got married. I was single in the base medrash in the dormitory on Kessel Street, nothing like the dormitory that we have today. And you and Rivka, you opened up your home, your apartment to me, like a bed bias. You were there for me, my brother, my sister. How divinely blessed I was to have you, Kalman, as my older brother, and Rivka is my sister. The Torah in Sefer HaDibros says, you shall honor your father and your mother. And the extra word yes teaches us the Rabbos of Ticha HaGadol, that younger brothers and sisters must honor their older firstborn brother like a parent. Interesting that the respect for an older brother is derived in the same verse as that for your honor for your parents. Your older brother, in essence, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's gift as a third parent. His love, his guidance, his inspiration, his Torah, his teaching, his protection. We were Zoka. We were blessed to have such an older brother. Matova Manoy. For me, losing you, Kalman, has been as painful and heart-wrenching as when we lost Mommy or Daddy. Perhaps even more painful in certain aspects. Such a profound loss that I never ever anticipated having to confront and face in my life. But I believe I was in denial for a long time. It's not safe. And perhaps I wasn't there for you in the beginning as much, but it was out of my defense. I'm just thinking about losing you. Throughout all the years of my Rabbanis, going all the way back to Phoenix, to Richmond, to Chesterfield, it was your Shemin HaMishkan, it was your Pisa, it was your Torah knowledge, it was your strength and counsel and guidance, not to speak of the hours and hours and days that you gave me in helping me in my Rabbanis in the earlier years. Your Das Torah, your genius of dealing with all the complexities of Rabbanis and other positions in Hadassah Torah. I remember a few months ago when we visited you in the summer in Silver Spring. We were sitting in the restaurant and you said to Rivka and to me that the Rebbeinu Shalom blessed you with almost three worlds: Buffalo, Silver Spring, and Dakota. Dear brother, I must correct you. They were not just three worlds handed to you, but you created the Shmaya, those spiritual worlds, with your Shemin HaMishka, with your consecrated oil of Torah and Hashkafa and Musar and Ashtorah and Mesiras Nefesh B'Klal Yisrael. And the second correction, you just did not create the spiritual worlds of Buffalo and Silver Spring and the Kollel, but you have an equal, if not greater, share in the creation of so many worlds of Torah throughout America. Tucson and Phoenix and Richmond and St. Louis and Boca, Miami and Houston, Los Angeles, Rochester, Milwaukee, San Diego, Peabody Hills, Dallas, and the list goes on and on. So many spiritual worlds. Most of us here don't even know about those spiritual worlds of Torah growth that you created, spiritual worlds of Torah families amongst your Balavakas, men, women, and children that you created. For Rabbi Kalman and Shmuel, in a very real way, you were our Rebbe's Zatzal's special partner in your devotion and visa to so many of his Talmidim who are engaged in Torah transmission across the country. And you are amongst the most beloved of Rebbe's Talmidim. Not to speak of the so many of your Haverim who came to you for chizah, for your guidance, for your friendship, for your love and strength, and your Torah knowledge, and your Das Torah. These are the hundreds and hundreds of spiritual worlds that you have created with your Shemin HaMishka. These are the spiritual worlds of Torah and Ahavas Yisrael that you have taken with you. As our Chazal say, Moshe Rabbeinu, Notan Eino V'libo Meitzar Alehem. The very essence of Moshe Rabbeinu's godless was that his eyes and the heart were focused upon all the needs and heartaches of Klal Yisrael. As the Rebbe prophet declares, Nosan Kisefo Tachas Maso Shepolecha B'Yechad. Moshe Rabbeinu put his shoulders upon his shoulders the numerous burdens of every yachid, of every individual of Klal Yisrael, and with Mesiras Nefesh, with blood and tears. And he cried out, Mi Te Musi Alev Taktechem, I would give my very life for you, my Klal Yisrael. You, Rabbi Kalman and Shmuel, you emulated these midos of Moshe Rabbeinu. Your devotion, your love, your life, your Mesiras Nefesh to the Klal. You are the Achicha Hagadol. You are the big brother, the third parent of love and Torah guidance and inspiration, par excellence, to family and friends, so many of them. And perhaps, my dear brother, the greatest spiritual world that you created and bequeathed to us was your Shemin HaMishka upon our beings, body and soul, our neshamos, over the past 2 years since the onset of the illness. Prior to his passing, Moshe Rabbeinu transmitted to us his final words of Torah and Musar. Ha'azinu hashamayim v'atavera, may the heavens listen as I speak, and may the earth hear my spoken words. Ask the Sifnei Chachamim what's the difference between the term ha'azinu and the sishma. Why, when it pertains to the shamayim, to the heavens, does Moshe Rabbeinu employ the word ha'azinu to listen? And in reference to the earth, does Moshe use the word sishma to hear? Answers the Sifnei Chachamim, ha'azinu is to talk to someone who is very close by. Ha'azinu, says the Sifnei Chachamim, the sishma is to communicate to someone who's much further away. Because the Moshe Rabbeinu hayakaro b'shamayim, because on that day Moshe Rabbeinu was closer to the shamayim, to the heavens, because he was close to his passing. And as a result, V'haisa akon nishmaso dafta l'mayla. Moses' neshama was already clinging closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to his eternal abode in Olam Haba than he was here on earth. And therefore, says the Sifnei Chachamim, the term Ha'azinu was appropriate for Moshe Rabbeinu, for in truth he was closer to the Shemayim at that time of his life. And this is the mark of Tzaddikim. Over the past 2 years, for our Rabbi Kalman Shmuel, your beautiful holy neshama was emerging more and more, radiant and glowing because in truth, you were closer to the Ribono Olam's Kisei HaKavod in the heavens than you were here on earth. And consequently, for those who had the zchus, the privilege, the merit, the honor to see him, to talk to him, to engage him, we all perceive the total innate godless, the spiritual greatness of who he was, his gevura, his strength that he exhibited throughout, his emunah, his bitachon, his unrelenting, continued drive and involvement, not only for his kehillah to the spring of the kollel, but for the so many of other kehillos and connections that he had involvement with over the years. This was your godless. This was your great strength. And you were a source of strength, spiritual strength to all of us. To your Rebbe said, it was her source of strength. To the children, it was their source of strength. His radiant neshama was clinging to the Kisei HaKavod, and he, yes, was so connected, so devoted to the Eved Hashem here on earth at the same time. Even during the most difficult periods, his treatment of his loving neshama shone forth to all. In Parshat Re'eh, Moshe Rabbeinu offers us words of nechama, words of consolation when we suffer the loss of our loved ones. Banim atem Hashem Elokechem, we are Hashem's children, says the Ramban, just as small children do not always understand the ways of their parents' actions, but nevertheless, these children never lose faith in their parents' love and caring concern for them. Because everything that parents do for the children knows it's ultimately for their best. So too, we are now Hashem's beloved children. And notwithstanding all of our pain and lack of understanding, yet we never forget Hashem's deep love for all of us. And this too is a component of our nechama, our consolation. No, we don't understand, but Banim Anachnu, know we are all your children, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and your love for us is greater than any love there is in the world. Secondly, says Moshe Rabbeinu to us, Ki HaKadosh HaKol Hashem Elokecha, you Klal Yisrael, Hashem's holy nation, says the Ramban, Haftacha B'kiyum HaNefashos. This is HaKadosh Baruch Hu's divine assurance of the eternal existence of the souls of Klal Yisrael. Acharei she'atam kadosh u'sigulas Hashem, your beloved one who has passed on. He is now the beloved holy treasure back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Gan Eden. And says the Sforno, Bezumin L'chayi Olam Haba. We take the chum and the knowledge that our beloved Harash, Rabbi Kalman Shmuel, is out entering into his glorious eternal place, which is beyond our human comprehension of total bliss, beyond our understanding. At the Hesed Rosh Hashanah Kaplu Zatzal, the Manchester Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal said, Harashneir, now that you take leave of us, you were our Manhig Yisrael during your lifetime in Olam Hazeh. We pray of you, continue to be our Manhig, continue to be our advocate in the Olam HaEmes. Go before your sainted father of Aaron, go before your sainted grandfather of Mr. Zalman, go before the Chafetz Chaim and raise a great cry on our behalf, on behalf of Klal Yisrael and all their service. My dear brother, you were our sainted Manhig in Olam Hazeh. We pray of you, continue to be our Manhig, continue to be our advocate in the Olam HaEmes. Go before our beloved righteous parents, Mommy and Daddy. Go before Rivka and your beloved parents, your righteous parents. Go before our sainted Rebbe and please cry for Yeshua for all of us, for the children, for the grandchildren, for the great-grandchildren, for the nieces and the nephews, for all the servants of Klal Yisrael. And then we look forward to that glorious day, that we will be reunited once again with the coming of the Mashiach and Tziyas HaMesim. Amen.
Amen.
Dubby Rosenbaum. Young Israel's come in.
Stand before you, speaking on behalf of the Rabbanos of the city. I use the term Rabbanos of the city because it was an extremely, extremely precious matter to the Nifter. How many times, only in the past 2 years, how many times did we have a conversation with Rabbi Winters and Ronald Levaya asking, what are we going to do for the city? How can this happen in the city? How can we let this happen in the city? What will we, the Rabbanim of the city, do about it? There's a lot of power in that very simple phrase. What will we do for the city? First of all, it wasn't he worried about his shul, as has been said many times. It wasn't just that he worried about his shul and whatever happens, beyond Lockwood Drive, let it happen. He personally saw everything in the greater Washington community affecting the Jewish community in any way as his personal responsibility. But there was something else. What are we going to do for the city? There are many others who see that they have a responsibility for a broad range, and they'll take care of it. They'll do it. That was never his attitude. The specific yachas and bond between specifically him and the Rabbanim of the community was so very precious to him. And I specifically speak on behalf of Rabbi Kalman, who absolutely should be speaking at this point in time. To his great dismay, he's currently away in New York. And all I can say is I'm sorry that it's me and not him. Because I think only Rabbi Kalman could properly convey to all of us, not just Rabbi Winter's specific seaboard, but the terrible loss for all of us in Washington. I'll just tell you, as a mere cliche, I hear all the time about people who pass away, lowling. I see it part of my responsibility. I have to keep my composure. For whatever it's worth, since I spoke to Rabbi Kalman at 7:30 this morning and shared the terrible news, I haven't been able to keep my composure since. Because that was what he said as the loss of his dear, dear friend and essential partner. It was said before that here in this beautiful, beautiful shul, Ein T'muraso, there is no real replacement for your esteemed Rav. I would like to second it and say that in our community, Ein T'muraso. Yeah, I feel it's proper that I should quote some things that Rabbi Kalman said to me this morning. Not many people have the zchus to live their lives as a Mishnah. We learn from Mishnayos. We elevate ourselves to Mishnayos. But who can say that their lives are a Mishnah? And of course, Rabbi Kalman immediately quoted to me the Mishnah, as was quoted before, Moshe Kibel Torah Sinai, Masar Yoshua, the chain of Torah going back to Sinai. That Rabbi Winter saw himself as such a linked chain from his esteemed, tremendous Rosh Yeshiva Rabbi Leibowitz at Colonel Levaya, all the way back to Har Sinai. I was reflecting this morning. Meisim, we hear Meisim all the time within the Klal Yisrael. Wonderful Meisim, we read Meisim, we hear Meisim. There's one person who I always appreciated so much to hear Meisim from. One person. And that was in the third. And the reason was because everyone else's Meisim were cute, were interesting, were fascinating. Rabbi Winter said Meisa, the odds were it was a Meisa he heard from his Rebbe, and it was a lesson for life. Meisa, I was so glad my son was born. In a very warm conversation with Rabbi Winter. And he told me, Meisa, don't ask me what anyone else in the world said to me after I spoke to them after the birth of my son. Rabbi Winter's Meisa I remember clearly. Because it was mahalach for life. So we had him Sorah. And again, to quote Rabbi Kalman, he was a physically tall man
who stood so much for him. It wasn't just that he had a Torah. He saw it as his absolute responsibility as a shliach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to impart that Torah to everyone to whom he could, with tremendous, tremendous passion and a sense of great responsibility. And yes, it is true. In the broader community, he has earned somewhat of a reputation as being a kanoi. That's absolutely true. But for all of us in the broader community who understood him, it was always abundantly clear that it was with this great sense of responsibility and a great sense of caring for everything in the Tzibur. I just want to share a few personal ma'asim. I've known Rabbi Winter for years. I worked very, very closely with him in the past 2.5 years. And I, too, learned tremendous lessons from him in the past 2 years. Rabbi Winter would very frequently speak to me on the phone about what was going on in the community. It was somewhat embarrassing. I would speak to those who were close with Rabbi Winter for far longer than I was, who I'm sure he was closer with. And they would say, I called on this day, I called on that day, and he wasn't available, he wasn't feeling up to it. Anytime I called, and he was at all physically available to speak with me, he was handed the phone immediately, and we had a real conversation. So many times I spoke to him when he was in the hospital. He called me when he was in the hospital. What's going on? I didn't even ask for a specific thing to talk about. I want to know. It's been a while since we spoke. What's going in the paper? It was his responsibility. It was his love. So many times I would call, and his esteemed Rebbetzin would pick up the phone. But we also say, oh, it's been said already, also to quote Rabbi Kalman, how much all of us have a great deal of gratitude to Rebbetzin for all of her work and support over decades here in the community, but particularly over these last 2 years. I personally was open to see the Melula of Rabbi Winter walking up the stairs, and I was also open to see the Melula of his wife helping him up those stairs. So frequently I would call the Rebbetzin, and I would say, Rebbetzin, just tell me, if he's not available, just tell me he's not available. Always, the phone would be given over. And I would say to Rabbi Winter, okay, you're okay, you spoke about one thing, you spoke about a second thing. Now there's a third thing, this thing is going to upset you. I would say sometimes to the Rebbetzin, it's going to upset him, maybe it's not good, he's not well. Always, let me hear it. This is what I want. So there was one time I was speaking with him about what was going on in the community, and it was somewhat of a disturbing development. We all know you have to choose your battles. Some issues you respond to, some issues you don't respond to. That's how it goes. That's life, and that certainly is also the Rabbanos. And that was true even for Rabbi Winter. That was true for Winter also. Sometimes he had battles that he said it's not correct to fight that battle. That's what's said before. And I shared a certain issue with him that was concerning to me. And he was greatly concerned by it. This was, he wasn't well. He wasn't meeting with people. There were kudos, as I'm sure we know, there were times he was up to meeting with people, there were times he wasn't up to meeting with people. So he was basically using whatever co-op he had for the moment to speak with me on the phone. And I shared with him what was going on. He said, so David, what are we going to do about it? I said to him, Rabbi Winter, I don't think this is a battle to fight. I don't think there's anything to do about it. He said, okay. Sure enough, he called me 2 days later. He said, I want you to know I called him the person we were talking about. And I had a long talk with him. He didn't have to go out and speak to anyone. But there was something going on in the community that was wrong, that he thought he could help in some small way. He had all to go out for it. We have God meetings. Periodically, since Rabbi Winter's illness, there's been a standing policy. The VOD meetings would be held in his home because he wanted to be able to participate. It was an amazing thing. The majority of the time that we would schedule a meeting, Every winter, I would speak to the Rebbitzin, and we would always say, maybe he'll be available, maybe he won't be available, the Rabban will understand if he's not available, but we'll at least make the meeting in his home so that he's able to participate. I believe he was present at every single meeting. Every single meeting. There was only one meeting that he left early, though there was always the understanding that he could. There was only one meeting that he left early, and that was a meeting of just a few weeks ago. And this was a very important meeting. And Rabbi Winter had such little strength, but it felt very important that the topic of this meeting was something that he and only he could properly present and set the proper tone for the meeting. And he spoke. He spoke for 15 minutes, passionately, strongly, reasonably, with everything he had. And then and only then he could go upstairs. This was more than Rabbanos. This was more than working for the Tzibur. This was absolute achrayus to Klal Yisrael, stemming from an absolute Masorah of what it is to serve Klal Yisrael. I would like to share, if I may, I just would like to share one story. It's already been said, this fascinating dichotomy of strength and force and tremendous chesed love. Just a very simple story. I had a phone conversation with him once. I think he was well at the time, Baruch Hashem. I had a phone conversation with him once right before Pesach. I believe it was 2 days before Pesach. And it was a major issue having to do with a potential kashrus problem or how to deal with the kashrus issue in one of our establishments. We both had a million other things to be doing at the time, and clearly were very dismayed that such a thing was even occurring. But we had to find out the proper response. It was somewhat of a stressful conversation. It was 2 days before Pesach. I happened to be at home. My home is also hectic before Pesach. And Kanai my son starts wandering around. He was about to do something very unsafe. See, right here, I'm speaking to this Rav, who's old enough to be my father, about this very stressful, important issue at a stressful, pressing time. And I'm going to excuse myself from the phone to call over my little boy and take him from here to there. It's a little bit embarrassing. So I just got back on the phone. I excused myself. I apologized. And he said to me, all the stress, all the tension was gone. And he said to me with such warmth, Reb David, I'm elated that you have that son to follow around in the middle of this phone call. I'm sure there are numerous stories like this in the room. I just wanted to share that one. But there was one more facet of Rabbi Winter's true avoda for the Tzibur that I was always so struck by. And I don't know how many people in this room understand this. His job in upholding the kashrus of the community was an immensely difficult role and an unbelievably thankless role. He had to have difficult conversations with people. He had to pick up and run at the slightest moment. He had to really be firm with people. He had to have countless difficult, painful encounters. And do you know for decades who made those decisions about those painful encounters? It wasn't him. He had such a respect for Das Torah. He saw Ravina Mirza Chronel Rafa as the representative of Das Torah in Silver Spring, Washington. And of course, Rabbi Chaim Rabbi Kalman. And he faithfully carried out what they asked of him. He, of course, had many insights. He, of course, had many views. And they, of course, many times consulted him. But at the end of the day, if push came to shove, if Rabbeinu and Rabbi Kalman said one way, he would follow through on it. But he was the one in the difficult encounter. It's a very powerful thing to think about. It's a whole other way of looking at a sense of responsibility to the seeker. Soon after Rabbi Eimer's Patira, I found myself in a meeting at Rabbi Kalman's home with myself and Rabbi Winter and Rabbi Kalman. And Rabbi Kalman stepped out of the room for a moment, and there hanging in his dining room was a portrait, a leaf portrait of his father's former brother. His father was a great, great Rav here in Washington, D.C. And Rabbi Winter turned to me and said, we're upholding a Masorah. This wasn't the Masorah from his Rebbe, this was a different Masorah. There was Rav Kalman, there was Rabbi Eimer, there were others, and now it's our matters. We have to hold that Masorah. I firmly believe that the day will come when new Rabbanim come to this community, and older Rabbanim turn to them and say, I want you to know something. If there's ever a Nakuda, an issue that requires someone to stand up, it could be private, it could be public, it could have to do with the whole community, it could have to do with an institution in the community, it could have to do with the needs of an individual. But if ever there was something that one needed to stand up, and if ever there was something that needed to be done, no matter how difficult, no matter how thankless, there was a Rav here in the Washington community who did it time and again, literally to his last days. And we, the Rabbanim of the city, have an achrayus to hold up that beautiful lesson in Musar that Rav Kalman and Carlos Ben Shmuel conveyed to us. Just want to ask Mechila, on behalf of us, Rabbanim, on behalf of the entire Tzibur, we surely never properly conveyed our gratitude to you for all that you've done. Maybe you made us go share. For your beautiful mishpacha, for your beautiful tzibur, and for the entire community. Thank you, Sean.
If you listen carefully, the hour is late, and we need to make sure that we get to the Gemara on time. So, after the Kamalei Rosh meeting, we'll ask those who carry the arm before to come forward, carry the arm. And then please allow the Mishpacha to walk behind the arm, and then everyone else follow. So put the arm into the vehicle, and then just escort the arm to Lockwood. And as the vehicle goes to Lockwood, then we will go to our cars and proceed on our own to the cemetery. And we need to. Yeah, it's near Edison, Major Cemetery. Mount Lebanon Cemetery. Does anyone have the directions, copies of the directions? Right, here's a copy of the directions. If anybody needs it, you'll ask me to look at it. Thank you. Chaim Ebenfeld, Emily Rackham. Everyone please rise. Remember, after the Emily Rachman, expedite time and move orderly with quick time.
Rabbi Menowitz.
Eil Moli Rachamim, Shoichein Bamrainim, Amtei Menucha Nechoina, Al Kanzei Ashchina, B'malais Kedoshim Utoirim, Jizoyer Kiyam Azirim, Es nishmas chavim vayim Rabbeinu Rav Kalman Rav Shmuel Shalach L'Olam Vavon Shemishpachtoi V'kol HaKol HaKadosh Hazeh Nogrim tzedakah v'linei vadas koras nishmosoi Bigan Eden Tehei menuchasoi L'chein v'al rachamim Yasireu b'seisei ginavam li'elamim Yitzroir b'tzror rachayim es nishmosoi Adonai hu nachalosoi Yoduach al mishkavoi b'shaloi v'neiman Amen.
I'm doing the live streaming. Should I shut it off now or should I go out there?
There's nothing else going on in here.
Should I go out or should I shut it off?
You could go out.
Okay. I should go out with this. This is the live stream. Should I go out there? I should turn
No, I think I expected